Thank you. On behalf of Hong Kong Watch, it's a privilege for me to be here in Manchester in St. Peter's Square to stand with all of you. And I want to begin with these words. Gong Fuk Hong Gong. Gong Fuk Hong Gong. Gong Fuk Hong Gong. Ga Yao. Today, the 1st of July, is a day of mourning and a day of remembrance, but it is also a day of renewal. It's a day when we mourn what has been lost, a day when we remember those who have so bravely fought for freedom before us, but also a day when we renew our commitment to fight for freedom, to stand with Hong Kong, and to speak up for Hong Kong and for people in Hong Kong, to use the freedoms we have in this country that the people in Hong Kong no longer have. We remember today the handover of Hong Kong from Britain to the Communist Party regime in China in 1997. We remember the imposition of the draconian national security law 3 years ago, which has totally dismantled, it has resulted in the dismantling of whatever was left of Hong Kong's freedoms. But we also remember the anniversary 3 years ago of the British government's introduction of the BNO scheme. Of the two first anniversaries, we mourn and we remember what has been lost. But I believe we can give thanks for the third anniversary, the anniversary of the BNO scheme, and give the British government credit for providing that lifeline to help so many of you and many others throughout this country to have a lifeline to build a new life in freedom. And I want to say to all of you that have come in the last 3 years under the BNO scheme, the following words. You are very welcome here. But I also believe that there is so much more that the British government should and can do. We in Hong Kong Watch believe that the regime in Beijing and its puppet government in Hong Kong should face consequences for what they have done to Hong Kong. They should face consequences for the police brutality and for the total dismantling of all of Hong Kong's freedoms. And so we will not rest until sanctions are imposed on John Lee, on other Hong Kong government officials, and on individuals and entities in Beijing. If they are allowed to get away with doing what they have done to Hong Kong with no consequences, then the repression will simply continue, it will intensify, and their aggression beyond Hong Kong will increase as well. So we will continue to speak out and to work for sanctions. We will continue to speak out and work for Hong Kongers who need to come here but who don't qualify under the BNO scheme, and we will continue to work with BNOs in this country to make sure that whatever challenges you face settling here are addressed and that you are welcomed across this country. And we must do something that people in Hong Kong can no longer do. It's so encouraging to see so many people here in this protest, a protest that if we were in Hong Kong, it would not be allowed and we would all be arrested. But we can protest freely here. And even though sometimes there is, even in this country, efforts by the Chinese Communist Party regime to intimidate and to harass, and I'm so proud today to be standing alongside Bob Chan, who I believe will be speaking later, and I pay tribute to him for his courage, for still coming out and protesting despite what happened in this city last October. But we must not allow those threats and those attempts to intimidate to silence us. And that's why it's so good that so many of you are here today. So let us continue the fight. Let us redouble our efforts. Let us speak for those in Hong Kong who can no longer speak. And especially, and I end with this, let us, at every opportunity, say or sing those 4 words that we just heard a few moments ago. And it was so moving to hear my own country's national anthem and then Glory to Hong Kong, to hear those 2 anthems, and to see Hong Kongers standing so proudly as Hong Kongers singing Glory to Hong Kong, but also as British residents, citizens, or soon-to-be citizens, are also singing our national anthem. And those 2 anthems should always go together. So let us at every opportunity, without fear, say those 4 words that today are banned in Hong Kong, but we can say them freely here. Glory to Hong Kong. Gong Fu Kong Gong. 加油